Hotel brothers and sisters, Black Power as always, giving honor to the Creator, giving honor to the ancestors. Chief of Staff, Brother Harris Abdul, and Street Law Soldiers, my sister, my in-laws, my father, all of the ancestors, all my subscribers, my viewers, my donors, my listeners, my street law soldiers, family members, and all of those who are fighting for the liberation and salvation of the Black nation. Today I want to discuss a tragic situation that took place over the weekend with one of our young, prominent brothers that was in the, that was prior being in the hip hop industry, but went on his own and became independent. And this brother goes by the name of Nipsey Hussle. A lot of you the young generation know of him. A lot of you respect him because he was a well-respected brother. And he was a very, very well-respected young God among the conscious community, specifically the conscious community, because he was one of the rare few that actually was putting in work to try to help and assist in the liberation of his people. And 33 years old, you know, that number 33 has a significant meaning, you know, in some forms, it's demonic. It's used in some demonic forms as far as the Masonic order, you know, and then it's used as the number of crucifixion among the religious world. Nevertheless, this brother was putting in a lot of work, and he had became independent. But let's go back to how he was, you know, he took the name from a legend, Nipsey Hussle, who was a comedian, started in the Chitlin circuit, and was known in the 70s, you know, on TV, Ronan Martin's Laughing and other 70s shows, because black people were far and few in between on black, as far as being on television in the 70s. So it is said that Nipsey Hussle was a white man's nigga. However, I'm just explaining where the term Nipsey Hussle came from. It has no significance. He is not walking in the spirit of Nipsey Hussle by no means, because his actions say different. And so that's where he got the name from. And brother was a prominent, powerful rapper. And as you know, he got with Snoop Dogg and Drake in the beginning. And you know, anytime that this Doberman Pinscher looking motherfucker, Snoop Dogg, is involved with anything, it doesn't mean anything good if you are not complying and you're not participating in some type of ritual that has something to do with the entertainment industry. And so it's no secret that Nipsey Hussle was a rolling 60s Crip member. And once again, and not to justify gangbanging by any means, but to explain the whole purpose of a gang, because the police are a gang, National Guard, the fire department, all of them are gangs, because when you ride on one of them, you have to ride on them all. So that's a gang. But Crips, Community Revolution in Progress, that's what it meant in the beginning. And the gangs are what's going to sustain the black community in the event of a racial insurrection. So let's not just allow these crackers just to have you thinking and shitting on everybody that's a member of a gang, because those who are saying and condemning gangs are in the gang themselves. The fuck you think a newscaster? They're part of a gang. They have a union. Anything that is unionized, that has a fraternal order is a goddamn gang. Now, I will never agree, and that's just common sense, agree to gang banging. But I am an advocate of riding on your fucking enemy, your real enemy. So he was part of the Rolling 60s, and and that's when plus he was with Epic Records before he went independent and got his own label, All Music In. He had his own label. But see what they did, they sent the house niggas. They sent the bootlicking motherfucking niggas to this brother, Drake and Snoop Dogg, to try to get him to sign with Epic, in which he did, and he got out of it because he saw the rubbers, he saw the director's couch coming, and he wasn't about to get down like that. And so he took his energy, and what he did was transform it into something that can raise the consciousness level of the black community. Began to eat healthy. Began to put out books. Began to do a lot of lecturing and building, creating ciphers, street ciphers with a lot of brothers, a lot of gang members, and going into the studio trying to change the psyche of our youth that are in the studio rapping about this filth that the motherfuckers that promote these youths talking about killing each other in the hood, gang raping queens, pushing dope in the community. They don't do it. Snoop is not in the hood. Snoop, the only time Snoop has his hands on some coke is when he's putting it up his goddamn nose. He's the only motherfucker I know that's legally a drug addict that can get high anywhere with no consequences. The only nigga I know anyway. But Nipsey Hussle, all he was doing for the community, waking the black conscious, raising the level of consciousness in the community. And he had a clothing store. He was putting in work. And then some old fuck niggas, these old hating, jealous motherfucking fag type, sucker ass niggas, sat there and took his life, which I know for a fact it was a setup. It was a setup. Once again, listen to what I'm telling you. Snoop and Drake behind anything Snoop gets behind, it's going to be some shit with it. And once he broke away from Snoop, because he realized Snoop is not no gangster, Snoop ain't banging. Snoop is paying to be a Crip by name. And that's to give the young brothers the appearance that he's a fucking banger, that he puts in work. It's an illusion. And Snoop is behind this shit somewhere. By this being fresh information, a fresh tragedy, I really haven't had the time to really dig deep, but I know that much. I know that this piece of shit ass nigga here is behind a lot of shit. And what he does, he goes to the have-nots, flossing, teasing the motherfucking have-nots, and persuading them to sign their life over in blood. in which Nipsey Hussle refused to do. Also, Nipsey Hussle had just completed a documentary about the late great barber, the baddest doctor we've had on the planet since Imhotep, Dr. Sebi. He was about to put that documentary out. And we need to keep on pushing this brother's legacy to make sure this documentary goes out. For those who don't know who Dr. Sebi is, he's the brother who had the cure for cancer, any type of medical ailment that the black community was dealing with. He had cured them all. He had cured them all. Dr. Sebi said there is only one disease, and it is called mucus. Now, I'll get down to that in a minute, but he was about to put the murder of Dr. Sebi, the documentary about his murder, because he was over in Honduras where he has his camp at. And that's where he heals people. And this is a picture of Dr. Sebi, I believe taken either on the compound or in prison. I'm not sure, where they held him for having too much money on him. He had $38,000 cash in his pocket. He was arrested, detained for no reason at all other than that he had money, and he ended up dead in the hands of the Honduras correctional system. They're taking him off to jail now without questioning, without allowing him to have an attorney present or anything. Strictly violated based on the fact that these crackers here in this U.S. government paid the Honduran government to do something and annihilate Dr. Sebi. Because Dr. Sebi cured Steven Seagal. That's why this Guinea was able to continue to do movies at his age. John Travolta's faggot ass. Eddie Murphy. And Eddie Murphy did not put Charlie down with Dr. Sebi, because Dr. Sebi would have been able to possibly save Charlie Murphy's life. Although Charlie was murdered as a sacrifice of Eddie too. A picture says 1,000 words. Look at the expressions on these brothers' faces. Michael Jackson and Left Eye, who did a documentary on her stay at Dr. Sebi's compound, in which she was murdered in the filming of the documentary. If you watch the documentary, it is filmed all the way until she realizes that she has no brakes on her truck. 5 people in the truck. Left Eye is the only one that died. Now, how can 5 people in an accident like this, none of them are actually really hurt, and only one dies, and the brake line is cut in the truck? And I'll get down to why Left Eye was murdered. If you look on my previous videos, you already know. That's her at the compound. You know, she had just did a total cleansing, a total spiritual and physical cleansing. And she was bringing gang members. She was cleaning up the community in those hoods in Atlanta by giving some of those young brothers and sisters the experience of a lifetime by being flown to Honduras, being cleansed spiritually and physically. And so this piece of shit nigga Snoop, you know, anything he's involved in doesn't turn out right, especially when he's dealing with someone that is conscious. The last person he was involved in that was conscious that he participated in the murder, had a hand in the murder, was Pop. And so Nipsey Hussle was putting out the documentary about Dr. Sebi, how he was arrested in New York for curing people of AIDS, lupus, herpes, diabetes, sickle cell, leukemia. He was curing these people, not suppressing the illness. He was eliminating the illnesses. He had the cures to cancer, AIDS, any ailment that was plaguing the black community. So they had to get rid of Dr. Sebi because they need the cracker needs these particular diseases, these deadly diseases in the hood to kill thousands of our people each day as a way of population control. And we're too fucking dumb to see this. And we need to wake up. We need to wake up. This brother was shot 6 times outside of his clothing store in the Compton area for the work that he was putting in. And he went from epic to all music in, which was his own record label, like J. Cole had initially started out. How Master P initially started out. Being independent. Nipsey Hussle, whose real name is Ermias Ashton, 33 years old, from Compton, was a powerful brother, powerful young brother. And also, what put the nail in the coffin is when he went on the Breakfast Club and talked about the Dr. Sebi documentary. As you can see, Charlemagne the God looking straight at Nipsey's penis. It appears to look like, because he's a queen as well. But when Nipsey Hussle was discussing the making of the documentary, the purpose of the documentary, to expose those who were involved in the murder of Dr. Sebi, this is when the orders were put in calling for the death of Nipsey Hussle. Shot 6 times outside of his store. There were 2 other people shot, but Nipsey died as a result of his injuries. And to add insult to injury, they had some niggas on social media, Instagram, or one of them fucking sick goddamn social media outlets, bragging on murdering this brother. Now, I don't do Instagram. I don't have no Instagram account or none. I don't do that. I don't do that part. But those who know of this need to get together and hunt these niggas down. Why is it that this motherfucker can go on social media and brag on taking this guy's life and there's no hunt for this motherfucker? It shouldn't be hard to find a motherfucker like that on Instagram. It should not be hard. So I'm calling on you real G's to go hunt this motherfucker down and bring him to black justice, not the motherfucking crackers justice. See, what y'all have to understand is certain crimes, there's certain times for certain crimes. You do something to a nigga, you get less time. You do something to a cracker, it's triple of what you would get for doing something to somebody that looks like you. But in the black community, in the real warrior community, all of us the same. Off with your fucking head. And this brother wasn't one of these niggas that was out here walking around with dresses on, talking that bullshit and acting like a fucking woman and rapping about this non-productive bullshit. This brother was serious about change in the black community. And we should not let his legacy die. We should continue his legacy, promote and push Dr. Sebi's documentary. Stuff it down the throats of these crackers. Because these crackers, Snoop Dogg and other niggas were behind the murder of Nipsey Hussle. And I'm going to leave it like that because it's no more use of talking about a legend that has been assassinated without any efforts into bringing these motherfuckers to black justice. Now, Charlemagne, all these other you fag ass niggas, y'all know the motherfuckers who done this. Snoop knows as well. And we know you motherfuckers are not going to because you'll lose your fucking place at the goddamn table, the crumb table that the cracker has you eating from. You bitches are not going to do shit. So my plea is to the real fucking G's out there. I'm going to leave it like that, brothers and sisters. I'll get back with you very, very shortly with more information regarding and surrounding the murder of Nipsey Hussle. So until then, brothers and sisters, Hotep, Black Power. Brothers and sisters, I want to talk to you all about today, April 1st. Actually, it's the day of the birthday. Let me make sure. The assassination of one of the greats, Marvin Gaye. The assassination of Marvin Gaye. And I'm just going to briefly talk about the assassination of Marvin Gaye because tomorrow's his born day. And I'm going to go into that as well as my mother-in-law, which I have a picture of her, the legendary and the great Cecilia Hooks. Tomorrow's her born day as well. And so I'm just going to talk about basically the things that took place in surrounding Marvin Gaye's murder. As we know, he was murdered. He was murdered 44 years old. One day short of his 45th birthday, he was murdered. And he comes from the Washington, D.C. area. And they have a couple of areas named after him. Marvin Gaye Park, where a lot of the professional athletes, basketball players come for tournaments. And the public can come and visit the park, where we have cookouts and all those things. I fed the homeless several times in Marvin Gaye Park. Nevertheless, he was murdered, and it was a cover-up. And the reason for the cover-up was because Marvin Gaye made the song What's Going On. I'm going to be real brief. What's Going On? And Berry Gordy begged him not to put that album out. But it was very much needed at the time because of the Vietnam War, because of the police brutality. See, this police terrorism and all this cracker shit has not just started 3 years ago. This shit has been going on forever. The only difference is a lot of this shit is being filmed now. That's the only difference. But think of all the millions of brothers that have been murdered by these racist motherfucking stinking ass motherfucking ice ate pig motherfucking cops. And what burns me up, I hear black people still to this day supporting these motherfucking cops. And you got some black cops, some nigga shit-eating black ass nigga cops, house nigga cops, that will do more damage to a black man than this white ice ape, snow monkey, ape cop. And so Marvin Gaye was murdered behind all that. What's going on? The police brutality, oil spills, the Vietnam War. Brother, mother. Why are you crying? Why are we dying? We got to find a way to bring some love here today. And see, Berry Gordy did not want Marvin singing about that because Berry Gordy was owned by the goddamn Guineas who owned Motown. Berry Gordy did not own Motown. That's why you never see him receiving a lot of awards for Motown. He was just a talent scout. He was in charge of day-to-day operations in exchange for the crumbs that he got from the Guineas for making niggas pick cotton in them studios all day long. But see, back then, our people were in love with making music. It wasn't just about the money and selling their souls for fame. Now, you had a few of them like that. But for the most part, our brothers and sisters love to be musicians and singers and entertainers. And so, when Marvin Gaye was going to make the second part to What's Going On, that's what cost him his life. Now, they got another, all of a sudden, a 1972 entire complete album that they claim was lost. Motown is about to release it, called You're the Man. You see how these crackers work? They've held on to this brother's music for all of these decades, hoping that Marvin has all of his surviving members of his family would be deceased by now. But his daughter Nona is fighting tooth and nail. These crackers, tooth and nail. But let me get down to the murder. The father, Marvin Gaye Sr., was charged with the murder of Marvin Gaye. Even Family Guy made ridicule of Marvin Gaye and his father. And see, Marvin's daughter Nona just sued these two faggots here. These two motherfucking faggots here, Pharrell Williams and this other motherfucking faggot, I forgot his name. Give me a second. This faggot, Robin Thicke, and Pharrell Williams, who copy infringement on one of Marvin Gaye's songs. And they took it to court and they lost. Charged with copyright infringement. And Nona Gaye fought tooth and nail. We need to support this sister as well. She's trying her best to fight this goddamn industry single-handedly. And see, the night that, Marvin Gaye, who did everything he could to please his father. Sometimes it may not have been enough, but Marvin Gaye's father did not kill Marvin Gaye. Marvin Gaye, let me repeat this, was not murdered by his father. The gangsters of Motown murdered Marvin Gaye for refusing to cooperate. And the father, Marvin Gaye Sr., was forced to take the charge of killing his son, which doesn't make any sense. Now, you living in Washington, D.C. in the slums. And so his R&B music gets you out of the slums into L.A., gets you a nice church and everything, and then all of a sudden out of the blue, you have a problem with him singing R&B. Doesn't make sense. It never made sense to me. If somebody could change your entire life, and you know what it was that changed your entire life, and then when your life changes, you take him out for changing your life. No, it never sat right with me. And so after years of investigation, it was determined that Marvin Gaye's father did not murder Marvin Gaye. And what happened was he was threatened to take the charge, or they were going to reveal Marvin Gaye's father for his cross-dressing, as you can see here. And they were going to reveal to his congregation about his addiction to volumes and 100 proof vodka, along with his cross-dressing. And so